Welcome to week 5 of the Tim and Chuck Show, presented by Batt & Stevens Body Shop. I am Tim McDonough, joined by my esteemed colleague, Chuck Martinez-Brandon. We're here at Frickers of Defiance. Another great spread, but first of all, a big thank you to the Ayersville students, Chuck, for that nice introduction.
They were fired up. You know, the whole student body, they were geeked up for the bell all week.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to that in a little bit here, but we're going to jump in with just talking about a great weekend of football, Chuck. Ayersville, Tenora, Patrick Henry, Liberty Center, and Defiance getting its first win. How about Ayersville taking care of that streak? They hadn't beaten the Rams in a while, 28-0.
It'd been 9 years, and we had been talking about beating the Rams for 9 months, basically. I mean, every day we did something where we talked about them and focused on winning that bell and getting to ring that thing at the end of the year. So to actually get the win and to see all that hard work come to fruition was awesome.
How about that Patrick Henry Liberty Center game? Wow.
Man, you know, that's when you talk rivalries, that's what you want to see, it coming down to, you know, the last quarter and everybody playing hard and getting after. That's just great stuff. Yeah,
that was a great win by Patrick Henry.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounded like what you would call, Chuck, an old-fashioned slobber knocker.
Yes. You know they're going to hit each other.
Defiance going on the road, taking down Bath, getting that first win for Kevin Klein.
Wow, you know, that's phenomenal for Coach Klein to take, you know, his young squad that's learning that new system on the road, which is hard enough in the WBL because you have so much drive time, and then to get a W is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And those were 3 great wins last week, or 3 great games, I should say. Now let's talk about some of the stuff the video that Ethan shot last week. We got all sorts of stuff. Let's start with the Tenora students singing happy birthday to one of their fellow students. That's great to see in an era where all you hear about is bullying in school.
Right, exactly. And it's great to see, you know, kids getting along and having fun, and like you said, just not vicious or anything, just having fun in the student section. That's great.
Well, how about the young Tenora football players? They set up a banner for them, the Little League players. They come through their banner. At the same time, the cheerleaders are bringing out the varsity banner. Looks like a couple kids are thinking, hey, I'm going to run through that.
He's thinking, hey, I can play varsity. Let's do it. You know, he's ready to go.
Well, speaking of this, I think we talk about this every year, Chuck.
Man,
the cheerleaders holding on to that varsity banner.
Yep.
I'm just going to let the video, you know, pretty much spell it out here for you. Check this out. She just let it go.
Man, the football guys, there's something that they don't like about those banners, so we need to really go back and check into this.
That is some crazy stuff. All right, Chuck. Now, last week you were there. It sounded like you guys kind of were spared a little bit at halftime, but it got real windy, and then the rains came.
Yeah, you know, and I think we got really lucky. We were one of the few games in the area that didn't have a lightning delay.
Yeah.
And at times it poured a little bit, but it wasn't too awful bad, you know. And I don't think in our game, I don't think anybody was focused on anything but in between the lines. You know, I didn't hear one kid say anything about the rain. I didn't hear officials say anything about the rain, coaches. Everybody's just focused on playing ball.
Great shot by Ethan getting the rain coming down under the lights. And then finally, you know, we have to have this every year. Here's some shots of you, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Defensive coordinating. I mean, even a little footage of you even jogging.
You know, that's about as much quick twitch as you're going to get out of me. But even I was geeked up, so I had to move around a little faster.
I love that Ethan got the shot. Ethan, keep up the good work.
Right.
All right, Chuck, let's jump into our Varsity Club Apparel Company Game of the Week. We talked about Defiance getting that first win.
Yeah.
We're going to spotlight them this week. They're at home taking on Salina, Battle of the Bulldogs. And before we kind of jump into it, I talked with sports editor Bruce Hefflinger this week. Last week he sent Russ Vance, our photographer, to that game. It was the first Defiance game he shot.
Yeah.
So Defiance won, so he's going back to Defiance this week.
That's right. He might be the lucky charm that they needed. You never know.
Well, let's jump into this game. A WBL game. Salina comes in. They're only averaging 13 points a game, but they're not giving up very many. What will Defiance have to do to take down the Mercer County Bulldogs?
The Mercer Dogs, yeah. You know, I think Defiance is going to have to come in with their young kids, with that young quarterback, and they're going to have to put some points on the board. You know, and Defiance's old coach, Jerry Beauty, he always used to say, for every sophomore you start, that's at least one loss you're going to suffer. So when you're a sophomore, you really have to play above and beyond your years. So, you know, the quarterback, Newton, is really going to have to step up and put some points on the board for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's thrown for 455 yards and rushed for another 188. You got Tylan Richard, Chuck. He leads Defiance in rushing. He's got a couple of TDs, and John Garza and Jared Jimenez are their threats on offense to catch the football. So they're going to have to play big.
Yeah, you know, and help the quarterback out, especially with that run game. You know, help him out, take some of the pressure off. maybe take a few of the hits that he's taken away in the passing game by establishing a good run game.
Well, like we said, Salina hasn't scored a lot of points, so it'll be interesting to see if this game comes down to the end and Defiance can come out of there with another W.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chuck, it's that time of the week where we hand out some awards. Let's start with the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. What do they say about that every week, Chuck?
You know, every week there are big hits on the gridiron around here in high school, but there is only one Rose Insurance Collision of the Week.
What do we have?
Hey, coming from that Ayersville Tenora game, we've got Tenora quarterback Jacob Davis handing off to Dalton Dackenhouse. The Ayersville defensive end DJ Ray slows him down. But one of my linebackers, Easy E, Ethan Schlachter, comes in and puts the wood on, and then Double D Dawson Dales cleans up the rest of it.
Wow. Another great shot from Ethan. That is our Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. And now it's time for our Jacobs Meets Play of the Week from that same game. All right, we've got Tenora quarterback Jacob Davis. He's rolling out on this play, trying to get the ball to Brady Bum, but Jacob Miller of Ayersville says, "Nah, I'm going up a little bit higher." He intercepts the pass, gets a great return. At this point in the game, it's 0-0 in the second quarter. That goes on to set up a two-play drive for Ayersville. You guys score first. You go on to win 28-0, like we said. The first win for Ayersville in this series since 2006. And here's some footage of the Victory Bell presentation.
On behalf of the Crescent-News, congratulations, Ayersville. 2016 River Bowl Victory Bell. All right.
Good thing that thing is made sturdy, Chuck.
Man, it is. I think, you know, all our fans came onto the field, and I'll bet 200 people touched that bell and rang it. We had little kids coming up and ringing it. It was just a great time, and you talk about that rivalry game. I hear people out of area eateries the next day still talking about that game and ringing the bell, so that's great stuff.
That is great stuff. And that is your Jacobs Meets Play of the Week. Now, before we get out of here, we want to urge all football fans to check out the Blitz from the CN Sports Department on Thursdays. Great stuff. It continues to be great stuff. And also, Defiance fans, be ready. Ethan will be at your game this Friday. Go crazy, have some fun. You will be on video here next week. Right. Speaking of next week, Chuck, before we get out of here, any words of wisdom?
Well, you know, the coaches always talk about winning the three aspects of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. But you know, when you think about it, winning 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
See you next week.